In today's video, I'm going to teach you a little bit more about square roots, and in particular, the square root of perfect squares. Okay, so to find the value of a square root, think what number multiplied by itself will equal the number under the root symbol. So that is how square roots work. And then for perfect squares, it becomes even easier. So we'll look at 0. So when we think of 0, what number multiplied by itself will give 0? Well, we know 0 times 0 will give you 0, so 0 squared, okay? So the square root of 0 squared is going to be 0 because these things cancel each other out. The square root sign and the square of a number will cancel each other out, and you're just left with the number under the root sign. So we could do the same thing for 1. So the square root of 1, think of what number multiplied by itself will give you 1. So we know that 1 times 1 is squared. So the square root and the square are going to cancel each other out, and so we're left with 1. And then for 4, we know that 4 is 2 times 2, which is 2 squared. So then this is going to cancel itself out. The square root and the square is going to cancel itself out, and you're left with 2. So this is the number multiplied by itself, right? What number multiplied by itself will equal the number under the square root? So when this happens, this is going to be the answer to the square root. And so this works for every number, but perfect squares become very easy to do. So for example, 9 is 3 times 3. So because it's 3 squared, the square root symbol and the square cancel each other out, and you're left with 3. And you just keep going like that for each of these numbers. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the next one is going to be 5. 5 squared is 25. But the square root of these numbers is just the number itself, which is 5. And then for 6, 6 times 6 is 36. The square root of 36 is just going to be 6. For 7, 7 squared is 49. So the square root of 49 is just going to be 7. And then for 8, same thing. 8 squared is 64. The square root of 64 is just going to be 8. And then for 9, the square root of 81 is 9. And then for 10, 10 squared is 100. So the square root of 100 is going to be 10. And then for 11 squared is 121. So the square root of 121 is 11. And finally, for 12 squared is 144. So the square root of that is just 12. And if you just notice, in all cases, the square and the square root cancel each other out. And so that's what you need to learn from this lesson, is that the square root and the square cancel each other out. And this is a nice little summary of what a perfect square looks like and how to calculate it. And don't worry if you don't understand that right away. You could just rewatch the video. As well, take a look in the description. I have links there to other videos of mine that I've done that are like this, so you could check those out. As well, you could download the ebook. In the ebook, there's a link there that will take you right to this lesson, and you can follow along in the ebook as you watch the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for listening.